I woke up one morning to 3 children in my room pointing at me with guns in their hands. I woke up on Saturday morning and reached for my phone to start doom-scrolling Instagram reels. It was my day off, and heck, I deserved it. But as I opened my eyes, there were 3 little girls, who couldn't have been older than 11, standing at the foot of my bed with guns in their hands. My instant reaction was to laugh. I couldn't help it. I honestly thought my friend from work had organized a prank or something. That's when it happened. Bang! The girl in the middle pulled the trigger and a bullet hit my toe. What the actual F? The pain shot through me as blood soaked into the mattress. I tried to stand, but that's when I realized I'd been handcuffed to the bed. The oldest one stepped forward and stuffed a dirty cloth in my mouth. "Where is the money?" she asked, her voice cold and unforgiving. I shook my head and tried to shout through the cloth that tasted like salmon. "What money?" I scanned the girls' faces, but I didn't recognize any of them. But they looked at me with disgust, like they knew exactly who I was. The middle girl spoke again. "We know there's a safe with our mom's money in it. Our mom told us who you are." Her voice was steady the whole time, like she'd rehearsed this moment 100 times before showing up at my door. I was panicking now. The pain in my foot was getting worse, and I could feel myself getting lightheaded from the blood loss. None of this made any sense, until the oldest one pulled out her phone. She showed me a picture of the man they were looking for. "This is you, isn't it?" She then smiled like she thought she'd gotten the upper hand. As my eyes steadied on the photo, my heart stopped. The man looked exactly like me, and that's when I knew. It was my identical twin brother, Darren, staring back at me from that tiny screen. Suddenly, everything made sense. Darren had been getting me into trouble our whole lives, and I hadn't spoken to him in 20 years since he borrowed $20,000 from our mom's retirement fund and disappeared to goodness knows where. And I guess now he'd found a new family to tear apart, his own. I tried to scream through the rag that they had the wrong guy, but all that came out was muffled nonsense. I thrashed against the handcuffs, shaking my head over and over, trying to make them understand. The oldest one rolled her eyes and yanked the cloth out of my mouth. "Talk, but if you scream, I'll let her shoot the other foot." I spoke as fast as I could. "That man isn't me. It's my twin brother. Check the phone on the nightstand. The password is 0000. I'll prove it." The middle one grabbed it and scrolled through my camera roll, and her face changed when she saw the pictures. Me and Darren, side by side at family events. Holiday photos where you could clearly see there were 2 of us, but they still didn't believe me. The oldest one shook her head. "This could be photoshopped. You could be lying. Then FaceTime him and I'll prove it," I managed to say, despite the shooting pain in my foot. She hesitated for a second, then did it. She held the phone up so I could see the screen while the other 2 kept their guns trained on me. He answered on the 3rd ring. I watched his face appear on the screen, and I watched his expression change as he took in the scene. The children, the guns, me, pale and bleeding and terrified on my own bed. I watched recognition flash across his face, not confusion. Recognition, like he knew exactly what this was about. And the first words out of his mouth were, "I'll send back the money. All of it. Just don't hurt him. He doesn't know anything." The room went completely silent. Beep. He ended the call and left me there, bleeding and confused and surrounded by children who had just gotten the confession they came for. The oldest one lowered her gun. She looked at me for a long moment, and something in her expression shifted. Not quite guilt, but close. "Sorry about your toe, Unsie." She uncuffed me, and all 3 of them turned around and walked out of my bedroom like nothing had happened.